Hello everyone, my name's Mike and I'm here to talk to you about the gear I brought on my first ever shoot. Let's jump into it. So what am I talking about? I brought lots and lots of gear, and especially when it's your first ever project, you're not quite sure what to bring. So I kind of brought a lot of pieces, and I'll be doing a separate video on maybe some of the gear that I wish I'd brought, and also maybe some gear that I don't have at the moment, but maybe something that I should probably invest in. So if you are interested in watching that video, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified of that video. So what did I film on? I filmed on this camera right over here, and that is the Panasonic G80 or G85 depending on where you're from, and I think it's a fantastic camera. It's a 4K camera with inbuilt body stabilization, and we've also got the micro four thirds sensor. Now this is a great affordable 4K camera. I really do recommend it. The other one is its older sort of brother, which is the Panasonic G7, but it's missing sort of a few features like the in-body stabilization, which I really like, especially because I do some handheld shots. Along with the Panasonic G85, I've also paired it with the battery grip as well. So I found this really useful as it doubles the battery life. I'll also put a link up there as well if you want to watch my review on the battery grip that I used. And along with the camera, I obviously had some lenses to go along with that, but I actually only ever ended up using one lens, which was the Panasonic Lumix 25mm 1.7. And this is a really affordable lens, and I recently got it, and I really like it because of its low light capabilities, because of its 1.7 aperture. And in hindsight, I probably should have used some different lenses, but I really liked the 25mm focal length, or on a micro four thirds system, it's actually a 50mm equivalent. So it came out giving me some lovely shots. And because the camera itself has a very small sensor, getting that low aperture is really important, you know, because I want to get that lens wide open so I can let in as much light in as possible. Now the other two lenses that I brought was the 40mm 2.5, which I again used to use in my videos, and I do use them occasionally as well. I do like this focal length and it gives me a wider shot. And I've also got a zoom lens, which is the Panasonic Lumix GX series, and this is the 14 to 42mm, and it's also got power optical image stabilization. So paired with the Panasonic G85, we got dual IS, so we can get some really stable shots. But unfortunately, I didn't take advantage of it, which kind of sucks really, because I think I could have come up with some really good shots. Now obviously with these micro four thirds systems, lighting is really important. Now unfortunately I couldn't take my big softbox with me, so I brought my favorite light, really my favorite portable light. Now if you've watched this channel, I do use this Viltrox light a lot. So this is the Viltrox L116T, and this is a great light. I've got two of them, and this is a bi-color light. Again, I'll put a link up there if you want to watch my full review, but this is a great light, and I can easily just chuck it on top of the camera, and then I can obviously just film with the light there, and that just lets in a little bit more light when I'm filming. I really like this light, highly recommend it. Along with the camera, obviously I used two different types of equipment. I used a tripod and I used this thing. So this is a really cheap slider, and I've got my thoughts on it, so be on the lookout for the next video, because I wasn't quite impressed with it, but it did allow me to give me that nice sliding motion along the different products that I was filming. So this was really easy. I just mounted it using the tripod mount at the bottom, and I just slotted it there, and then I just used it to do some panning shots, which I really liked, or some sliding shots I should say. So really nice piece of equipment just over there. Everything fitted in this little bag just over here, and let's just go through it. So obviously powering the light are the Sony NPF batteries. Again, I did a review on the ones that I used. I'll put that in the link up there as well. Watch that video after this one, obviously. I also took a hand grip with me, so I just screwed this on the bottom and then just used it to again get some panning shots. This is just a real comfortable way of holding the camera, and it sort of gets rid of some of those shakes as well. Now, along with putting the Viltrox light on top of the camera, I also needed to put the light in different areas. So I used these little bad boys, which again I've done a video on as well, and I literally loved it because I could just literally attach the light on these magic arms, and I just clipped it on the shelving unit and it worked perfectly. So again, still highly recommend these. This actually saved my ass on one of the clips as well, so really happy with it. I also brought a microphone as well, but I didn't end up using it as a lot of the shots that I did basically didn't require any sound. Unfortunately, it just stayed in the camera bag. The other thing that I brought was a lot of batteries. So batteries are really important to me because without them, I've got no power for my camera. So I brought a few of these. I've got 4 in total. I may buy a few more as well, just because I think they're really lightweight, and why not? You can't really ever turn up to a shoot and you may take a lot of footage, and the last thing you want to do is run out of power. The reason why I wasn't too worried about power was because I had one of these little things. So these you can plug into any DC input and you've got basically unlimited power for your camera. Now, it wouldn't have been as convenient using one of these, but in a pinch it will save your ass. Now, because of the changing light and where I was filming, depending on the shot, I actually needed to decrease the amount of light going into the camera. Now, I didn't want to raise the aperture or increase the shutter speed, so the way that I did that was actually using an ND filter. So ND filters, if you've ever watched any video almost on YouTube, are really important because it allows you to keep the camera settings the same, and you can just decrease the amount of light going in by using one of these filters. So highly recommend it. Now, a lot of people don't like variable ND filters, but for me and obviously my tight budget, I think it works quite well. Depending on where you're shooting, it is really important to have one of these. So this is a little blower, so that if you've got any dust or anything like that on the lens, you can just blow it off really easily. And the other item that I really recommend, that I think every photographer and videographer should have in their camera bag, is one of these. So this is a little pen, and essentially on one side you've got sort of this brush that can again brush off any dust on the lens, and on the other side you've almost got this like polish that you can just sort of make sure that any fingerprints rub off of the lens. So I really recommend one of these, and it's just called a lens pen or something like that. And I mean, this one's from lenspen.com, so they've even got a website, but I think loads of manufacturers do these. I will put a link in the description if you are interested in one of these, but they're really cheap. The other thing that I brought was a tripod. So these are just cheap little tripods. I mean, I know that Manfrotto or whatever do a version of this that's about £20. This was actually a little bit cheaper. Again, I'm kind of working on a budget and I'm not going to use this on the daily, so I just bought a cheap one, but this worked really well. I actually did use it for one of the protein bar sliding shots. So I just basically placed this on the floor and I had the light pointing at the protein bars, and I basically just did a panning sort of sliding shot across of the bars, so worked really well. Now, one piece of equipment that I didn't really use that much was this little thing. So this basically has got mounts for like a microphone and a sort of light as well, and you can sort of just hold it and pan and do what you need. I didn't actually use it that much, or well, actually I didn't use it at all, so yeah. I brought it. I may not bring it next time, just because you got to mount it at the bottom, and you know, you kind of have to remove the mount, and yeah, I might not take this next time. Now, the last thing are memory cards. So I actually didn't need to bring all of these memory cards, because the SanDisk Extreme Pro that I used actually worked really well. I had 128 gigs card, and I didn't even use half of it. So I think with the filming that I did, I didn't require that many memory cards. But what I will say is I did keep checking to make sure that that disc did not fail, because these cameras do not have a dual SD card slot. So if I ever had a corrupted file, at least I've got a backup in case I lose all my footage. So I hope you enjoyed my little rundown of all the gear that I brought. I know that I enjoy watching other people review their gears, you know, sort of show their audience their gears. So I thought I'd just create one, especially because this was my first ever gig, and I think you guys might be interested in what I use. Now, the next video I'll be doing, like I mentioned, will be a sort of rundown of what things I wish I had brought and how I could have done better, really. So I'm constantly improving, and I'm constantly trying to do the best I can, and I hope you guys notice that. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm perfect. I mean, I just got my first gig. Obviously, I'm like buzzing by that. But if there is anything that you guys think I could improve on, then please leave a comment down below. You know, I am more than happy to listen and read all the comments that you guys have, and maybe even apply it to my next videos. Now, sorry for the change of scene. I've literally just filmed it here in my bedroom. If you do like it, obviously leave a comment, but I will normally be filming in my other set. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up. Really helps me out. Please use the links in the description below for anything that I've talked about, because it really does help me out. It's basically, I earn a bit of commission basically from those links. So if you are interested in buying any of those, please use them. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it does give me a little bit of a kickback and hopefully make more videos for you guys. But until then, look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later, everyone.